to the government stuff that is going on at the VA in Fort Wayne, Indiana. That place, how it's run, the people there, I think they did a grave error when they combined it with the people from Marion Hospital. And I know there's a lot of people that feel the same way. But that is the government, excuse me, that I am making reference to. And I have like an outline here, and it tells a little story starting about November 27th, 2005. That's when I accepted the job and quit my job in St. Mary, or in Ohio, and came to the VA here. I accepted the job as an X-ray technologist. Then the next one is on April 2nd, 2006, I got a promotion and requested personal action promotion where I went up in money value that year. On November 27th, 2006, I got exceptional rating in CT. Per the supervisor, I was an asset to the department. On January 7th, 2007, it got another cash award of $350. And October 16th, 2007, I asked Ann about additional training because at this time I was going to CT and filling in an ultrasound when she wasn't there, and it's been a while since I've done both of the other modalities. November 15th, 2007, I was rated fully successful, but I was becoming friendly with the ultrasound tech. April 28th, 2008, supervisor was going after the ultrasound tech, refusing raises, and we were all jumping up at raises in the department except the ultrasound tech. January 22nd, 2007, I got another raise, exceptional rating, $800 raise, an $800 cash award. January 14th, 2008, I got the Service Champion Award, and that's where 7 other people throughout the hospital got this award and was recognized for being very good with the patients and doing things. June 2nd, 2008, there was a co-worker, radiology, that messed up onto ICU patients, ran their films under the wrong names. And that wasn't caught until the next day by the doctor calling up to the department saying her patient didn't have a tube, that her patient had a PICC line. But that patient, the person that did it wasn't there, so we had to go down and make up that mistake. Then in 2008, that is when we wrote the new CT book manual that I talked about earlier. And in the meantime, I've made quilts for veterans, blankets, and I take them down to the volunteer department down there by the gift store. And then on February 1st, 2009, that is when Ann finally got Allie out of the department. We heard she was fired. I took over ultrasound. February 2009, that's when I made 94% in getting patients done within 30 days. June 1st, 2009, I got another performance award, and I got another check for some more money. August 1st, 2009, Allie, the ultrasound tech, came back to work. She had won her case showing that things that the supervisor dreamed up against her was bogus and insinuated in the wrong way to make the ultrasound tech look guilty. So she came back, and her and I then alternated in ultrasound, but Allie was off limits, or the ultrasound tech was off limits, to the supervisor. So, and this ultrasound tech and I became friends, so it came on to me. And there was another girl who used to work there. She was pool extra, but when we needed help or something, we'd call her and she'd come in. But she was about my age. She was straight up. She wouldn't uh, go for deceit and play the little game. And finally, she got fizzled right out. I mean, was a good person, hard worker, but supervisor didn't like her, and so slowly she was gone. Then January 2010, I wanted to know how seniority worked, so I emailed the union president. And because, I mean, things were starting to get a little bit on my nerves of how harassment, the retaliations, and all that was coming after me. Another big thing was January 10th, 2010, Nuke Med Tech found out an x-ray tech was getting Nuke Med pay for the last 14 to 15 years. So, I don't know what all happened, but I know the Nuke Med Tech was so mad. Went to the supervisor, and I don't know why they willed and dealed and what they did and how they got it straightened out. But we all got raises, and I don't know if the raises we got matched up to what the guy was getting Nuke Med Tech pay for 14 years, which is more than what regular pay is.
You're gonna have to speed up, eh?
And we are, and then
Skip some of it.
okay, February 1st, 2010, I get yelled at, and but it yelled out for finding blood on a CT scanner, and it's like I planted the blood there. I had mandatory overtime, 6 hours, which was not my turn. I got blamed in 5/27/2010 for not stocking, and I wasn't even there. July 26, 2010, one co-worker took a portable chest x-ray, suboptimal, to a point where our telerads called back. They wanted it done again, and this person that was told to go do it didn't go do it. And here several hours passed by, and then I got blamed because I didn't know about it, and I didn't go and cover up for this guy. I got emails of the harassment in between patients that I did a patient and I'd have to stop and go look for him. On August 5th, 2010, proposed reprimand for refusing to do patients. Well, I had everything. I had all my paperwork from my little documentation and everything stamped through the VA when you do your emails. So that was just thrown right out. Got blamed when one tech did a CTA on a different shift and had no time to reconstruct it, asked if I could do it, and I said, well, I would do it if I had time. I did not have time. And I emailed him back and told him, and he said no problem, he'd do it when he came in that night. But that was my fault again because I did not reconstruct it. Okay. Then I get on call-in restriction, sick leave, where I think it was like 6 times in so many months I called in or left early for a doctor appointment, and I got put on notice with that. And there's another co-worker every other day did more than I did. And even one guy, when it was his term in CT, but even when he wasn't in CT, he went back there and slept. He came in at 6 o'clock and I was the next person who came in at 7:30. He would go back there and sleep. And well, I busted him a couple times, and then after he got busted a couple times, he had the secretary call when I walked in, so because she knew about it too, and so he wouldn't get caught. Then there was an incident with two girls got into it because they were friends, and one told the other to do this and that, and she was all upset. And I told her, I go, well, she's your friend. And I go, you tell her what you tell me, you know. Well, somehow that got to be my fault too. The whole argument there. It was just, and then one time on August 9th, 2011, there was a patient that came up from ER, and he was intoxicated, to say the least. And I didn't know I'd seen the name he was an add-on, but I was doing CT back there, so actually seeing him and knowing his condition, I did not. But then a secretary come back there, asked me if I'd seen so-and-so, and I said, no. I go, I got so-and-so on the table here. I go, I'll do him next. She indicated that he had disappeared, he was drunk, blah, 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 blah. And here what she did was stand in the middle and yell down both hallways. It was like a T. She stood in the middle of the T and yelled always for this guy's name and started complaining to everybody about him being intoxicated and we're not babysitters. Well, there was a nurse with her patient up there from ER, which I was going to squeeze in before him because he was a critical condition. That's why the nurse was staying right with him. She was clear at one end of the T. I was at the other end of the T. And what the secretary yelled, screaming, and it was everybody seeing it. Her and I wrote up what they call an EPIRA. It's an electronic patient incident report. Now this is the second time, you know, something negative, bad like that has happened and was reported, but nothing was ever done. It was always come back as my fault. So, because the supervisor, what she did to the ultrasound tech was doing the same thing to me, and you could almost go step by step what she did to her to me. It was so similar, so many steps, and that. And all along, I've been keeping notes, going to the union, emailing them with the same thing. And I went about my business. I dove into my work because I love working with the vets. I think they're just so unique. And then I found about the Shepherd House, so I went and did donations to the Shepherd House. I kept making vets blankets that they could give people that was hospitalized. And minding my own business actually, but my own business is where she would always come in. I did ultrasound biopsies. I'm the only one that did the thyroid biopsies with Dr. Burns. And one day they were supposed to close off the afternoon schedule, which was notified months in advance, and which was not closed, and I couldn't do it because I got that privilege taken away. But they screwed up. They did not close off the afternoon. And when I seen it seen it on my schedule when I printed it up, I notified the secretary to get a hold of these patients ASAP and let them know. And I squeezed in a couple of the afternoon patients in between people in the morning because they were there on other appointments, and that's how they needed done because they did everything in one day because they had to travel pretty far. And but that was my fault too. My FMLA going AWOL was my fault too, even though I had FMLA filled out, doctor, everything. Now this is a good one. When I was punished and down in logistics, I had vacation time that I put in a year in advance. Every January we put on the calendar the whole list of every day we went off, and that's what I do. Most of them don't do it because they take all this time here and they know they'll keep building up, and then when it gets closer to a holiday, all of a sudden they put their name on the calendar that they wanted off too. But I do it everything from January to December. And at Christmas time I had, I'm working in logistics now, an extra person and logistics that just got jobs that nobody wanted to do. Well, I let Randy, he was supervisor of logistics, know that I was going to be off a couple days around Christmas time. And he had no problem with it because really I could be there or not be there, and it wasn't affecting his department. Well, I'm down here and I put my request in and I'm taking this day and this day off. Well, the supervisor in radiology refuses it as just retaliation and harassment against me. So I went to the union and I told them that Randy did not give a flying hoot if I had those days off, because, like I said, I could be there or not be there and not affect his running department.
Wrap it up.
But way up here in or in radiology, she's refusing everything I put in. So I went to the union, and the union bypassed and called way up in upper management to like the director's level, and they said yes to Gwen. Just go ahead, have her put her stuff in. So I did. Well, there was things like that occurred, and supervisor would do more and more retaliation, lie, cheat, deceit. So this is a little bit more. I mean, I just skimmed some of the stuff, and it really goes into a lot of in-depth stuff, and it'll be an eye shocker once everything comes out, because I did, like I said, and I seen what they did to the ultrasound tech the first year I came there in '05, and then I talked with Shirley, who was worked in lab, and she was also a union rep. She said, document, document, document. And so I did, and I am so very grateful that I did, because there's a lot of bad things that occurs at the VA here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and the government needs to clean house.